We're on the record in two cases. First case is cause number 319748. The second case is cause number 321016. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Charles Edwin Monroe Jr. We have Mr. Monroe appearing via Zoom. Mr. Monroe, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Monroe, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
Mr. Monroe, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Monroe?
I'm doing great, George. How you doing?
I'm good as well. Thanks for asking. Mr. Monroe, your attorney of record is Mr. William Wilkerson. And Mr. Wilkerson is not here or is not there. And attorney Charles McIntosh is present and is standing in for Mr. Wilkerson. He's not substituting in, but he's standing in for Mr. Wilkerson. And Mr. Monroe, do you have any objections to Mr. McIntosh standing in for Mr. Wilkerson?
No, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. McIntosh, just for the record, you are not substituting in for Mr. Wilkerson, but you're just standing in for Mr. Wilkerson. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. McIntosh, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge.
Okay, that's good. Mr. Monroe.
Yes, sir.
In cause number 319748, the information alleges that on or about April 29th of 2018, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of attempt to elude police officer. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge Mr. Monroe, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, Mr. Monroe, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yeah, I don't wish to fight or contest the charges.
Okay. Now, Mr. Monroe, I have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. And it is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials, CM, that is on the line next to a box that is checked, nolla contingere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir, I did.
And on the next page of the same document, Mr. Monroe, there's a signature at the top, and that signature purports to be your signature. It's on above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir, it is.
And on the next document, which is titled the Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, there's a signature at the bottom of this document that purports to be yours above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir, it is.
There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
And the next box states that that you are waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Monroe, did you sign a document out there that is titled the Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir, I did.
Now, Mr. Monroe, prior to signing and initiating these documents that I just spoke of, did Mr. McIntosh go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, he did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir, I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir. To the best of my knowledge, yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor, and I'd also like to offer State's Exhibit number 2, that's the probable cause affidavit for this case.
Mr. McIntosh, do you have any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, no objections. State's Exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. McIntosh, you have advised and counseled Mr. Monroe. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, there is not.
Mr. Monroe,
Yes, sir.
your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, I am.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir, yes.
Now, Mr. Monroe, Mr. McIntosh, who is standing in for Mr. Wilkerson, has also advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, very much so.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Monroe, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it's 180 days, credit for time served, tax and retire the court costs, and that's to run concurrent with cause number 321016.
Mr. Monroe,
Yes, sir.
the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you've already served 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. There's court costs of $300, and so there's court costs of $387 that you will not have to pay because the 180 days that you served in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Monroe, understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Do you think that the state's offer is fair and just?
Yes, yes, thank you.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Mr. Monroe, I will follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Monroe, you have another case. This case is cause number 321016. And in this case, Mr. Monroe, the information alleges that on or about April 29th of 2018, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2A. Mr. Monroe, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir, I do.
And to discharge Mr. Monroe, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, Mr. Monroe, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
That's correct. I don't wish to fight.
Okay. Now, Mr. Monroe, in this case, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, which is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, and in this document on page 2, okay, I was looking at page 2, there was the initial just C. What I'm gonna do is send this document back because the initials is not completed. Let me do this here. Okay, I'll send this document back. Okay. So, y'all, I'm gonna send the document back and give y'all an opportunity to make, the necessary corrections on the document. It's, Mr. Monroe's initials